Laugh Factory Network.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Who am I? You sure you want to know?
What does that make us? Sidekicks?
It's the Trusty Sidekick podcast with your hosts, Jay Washington, Bobby Hill.
What's happening, everybody? We're back. It is episode 80 of the Trusty Sidekick podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington.
And me, your resident superhero, Bobby Hill.
I know a lot of people have been asking for this, and like I told everybody who's asked me about this, I direct you to Mocha Jesus _ Jesus. This is all on you.
Back to the guy who was out of town for. I mean, you were out of town for a week, and I was busy for a week. So
I was out of town from Wednesday through Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so we both had a period of time where we were unavailable. So
we could have did this through Skype.
I don't like doing it through Skype. Now we got this set up. We don't have to do this. Everybody's fine. We're all alive.
We're gonna have to
we
eventually.
survived.
We're gonna have to eventually. With some people we can have as people as guests that
With
can't
guests,
come to.
sure.
Yeah, so we could have been able to do this.
We survived. Everybody's alive. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. We're gonna fill you guys up with a ton of news.
I blame it on you.
See, it always has to. Why is it? It's not about blame because we both share responsibility. We both had days where we weren't available, so that's just how it goes.
I'm here to do this.
Here now. You were gone though. You were gone for a little while. That's okay. I was busy for a week. That's okay. It's how it goes.
You was busy with pussy.
No, I was busy with work.
See, y'all see how he stuck.
I had to remember. I was like, was I busy with pussy?
You see how he was stuck for a second? He was
I had to think about it. Well, because now I was thinking about what I wanted to be busy with. I was like, I would like to have been busy with pussy. I had druthers. You know how druthers are. You know when you have druthers.
I love the fact I caught this nigga clear off guard.
I was like,
he was like, what? That shit hit him like a ton of bricks. Like, wait a minute, was I?
No disrespect to any of the pussy that I've been with. I don't mean it to sound like I was just forgetting you.
Ladies, you don't have to forget for vagina. What I'm saying is my schedule.
I'm just saying I'm forgetful. I'm not saying
it's just me as a person.
It's not you.
It's me.
I've got a bad memory.
It's just literally my brain.
I mean, a good memory, but a bad memory. You know.
You can't clean this up no way. We're gonna move on.
There's no way to save this.
There's no way to save this.
It is a good.
How's your week's been?
My week was busy. We both have been working hard to try and get ourselves involved into the industry as best as we can. I found a little opening myself last week. Worked on a feature film. It was a lot of fun. It was part of the reason why we weren't able to record last week. It was the first step into some stuff that will hopefully lead down a road to a deeper position, working maybe above the line at some point on some of these movies. So.
I like how you were just as vague as fuck as you could be.
Well, look, I got stories to tell. I want to tell stories. I found a way to get a way in where someone could lead me to a path where I get to tell some stories someday.
Good.
I believe I know the right direction to take the DC universe, and I'm not going to let them know. I believe I can save the Warner Brothers DC extended universe. So I can fix it.
I know what Bobby's new thing is he's doing, and I was like, I know what it entails. So I hit this blog up, was like, hey, nigga, do you still want to do this? Like, because I know what it entails. I know the hours it entails. I know the physicality and the stress.
I'm working in production on a film.
Yeah.
And I've started working production on some film stuff. And so those are 14 to 15 hour days.
So I was like, yo, let me know. And I'll find.
Fortunately, you still get days off, so there's still
true.
Days off that you can pull some stuff off.
Do the shit in the morning.
Film shoots are not forever; they only last for periods of time.
Well, it depends on how good things
how
are.
Big the movie is,
or if you're good enough to the point where you just go from job to job to job, where you don't have a lull.
Yeah, the cool thing is, you can kind of create, depending on how good you are at getting work, you can kind of decide when you want to work. For the most part, so you can create those openings. But it's a very good learning experience. I mean, we talk about these things. We talk about all these movies all the time. I'd like to have a hand in the creation of them at some point, and so this is, I think, a step in the way towards doing that. So
Congratulations!
That's what last week has kind of been tied up with. So, what about you, man? What have you been up to?
I went back to Tacoma, Washington, to hang with my daughter and kick it with her and her mom, and it was a fun weekend doing that. Just did a lot of different things. Been doing a lot of stuff, appearing everywhere I can. Somebody asked me to do something. I'm there. Shouts out to Screen Junkies, who put on the Women in Film and TV and Digital event last Thursday. It was a great time. It was a great turnout to see damn near everybody that you've run across in this new nerd geek space and film space that I've been working in, all collectively damn near in one same environment, was amazing. One of the biggest things for me, real quick, was finding out that the legendary Leonard Maltin considers me a colleague.
Ooh, hey.
And him and I've was having multiple conversations on different days. We had a conversation after the Avengers Infinity War screening.
Right.
We've talked in it, just to say, he sees me as somebody on a level with him. And because his daughter Jessie, who's a good friend of mine, shows him everything I'm doing, and he loves it. And so that was meaningful to me. And
that's great.
This past Friday, I got a chance to meet Kurtwood Smith.
Nice.
So I met him at Collider. We were at Collider Video. He was doing some stuff there. And when I met him, I was like, yo, I've been a fan since RoboCop, dog. Like, straight up. You as Clarence Boddicker was the greatest shit in the world. Can you fly, Bobby? Not to dismiss him being Red Foreman.
I mean, trust me, I've had that yelled at me plenty of times.
Can you fly, Bobby? Like I said, not to dismiss him being Red Foreman on that 70s show or what he did in Deadpool Society or other films, but I was like, yo, Clarence Boddicker changed my life.
What a life-changing role.
I know, Clarence Boddicker did it for me. But nonetheless, man, it's a lot to get into, and we can keep talking about our past weeks and things we've been doing. And
let's kick it off with the most important thing that's happened in the universe in the last month. I mean,
you mean half the universe.
Yeah.
Marvel's,
that's all that's left now.
Marvel Studios Avengers Infinity War. Now, first of all, it is May 7th as we record this.
Correct.
What that means is I don't give a fuck if you ain't seen it. Spoilers will come out. Okay.
The spoilers are coming. We don't give a shit
because you've had to
pay attention. You've been there. If you really, here's the thing: if you have not seen it yet, this is not the podcast for you.
Nope,
okay?
not at all.
You're not ready for this podcast just yet. That is not the right move for you. So step back away from the from the podcast app and let's get down to what's really going on here.
First movie to be it's the highest grossing opening weekend movie of all time.
Right. Beating The Force Awakens and bitter ass James Cameron.
Of all time. And it is the first movie to hit $1 billion the fastest ever.
Right. As expected, as it should. I mean,
which I don't understand why people.
This does not seem like a difficult concept. Why would you think?
No, there is.
I mean, they've had 18 movies that have all led up to this. There's been a bunch of people who are going, even though they've only seen a couple of those movies. So it's not like this shouldn't be a surprise. This is. You would think that it wouldn't be a surprise. You would think that people would be like, oh, 10 years should build 10 years properly. I mean, what are they, 11 for 18, 12 for 18 in quality movies? You think somebody's going to show up for the 19th culminating movie of all of them? Of course they are.
And even the movies we talk about with quality-wise, they all served a purpose as a vehicle.
Yeah, there was something in all of them, even the crap ones.
Right,
okay?
there was something to go for it.
Right.
And so the culmination of this, everything, one of the first things, my thoughts on it, I loved it. I loved it. I know what you're going to say. And I loved it because it was 10 years done well into one film.
That part was great.
It was done well. The breakdown, not having them together, was great.
Yeah. I think the separation of all these characters to different groups was well done. They separated them to was right.
And who they separated them to. Because if you thought from the gate you were going to get all of these Avengers and new Avengers and adjacent Avengers together, you would have a clusterfuck right out the gate.
How can you figure out how to do all this unless you do a thing where you send these guys off to some different locations?
And the way they did it, the way the Russos put this together and constructed it where they had different people together in different groups, it allowed each individual to shine in their moments.
Yeah, everybody got a piece of what was going on. Everybody served a purpose overall. The main characters from all these movies actually served a purpose. I did like it overall. Here's the only place I had my pause. Is
I'm waiting. This is why I was waiting on you, because I have something about that.
I know.
Go ahead.
So the only pause that I have, and it turns out that it's just a matter of it doesn't make the movie worse. It just makes a portion of it at least predictable as someone who already knows who's signed to come back, and that is the way the movie ends, which is with most of the characters who have sequels already set up to be coming out at some point in the future being the ones who disappeared. So there's a couple different theories that have come out from that. There's been a theory that maybe they're the ones who are alive and these guys are actually dead. There's been all
in the Soul Stone.
So yeah, there's theories about them being in the Soul Stone. There's a number of different theories that are going on, but the one thing I know for sure is that those guys are not dead. I know that T'Challa, Spider-Man, the Guardians, I know they're still alive. That's the one thing I know. Well, because they all have sequels planned, so I know they're alive.
But technically, the only two that have sequels planned right now that we know of officially are Spider-Man and the Guardians.
There's a Black Panther sequel coming because Kevin Feige is actively pursuing Kubelik Force.
I get
but
that.
Here's what I'm saying though: as someone who's omnipotent about the situation, I'm a human being living in the actual real world. I already know watching this that they're bringing back another. There's going to be another Black Panther movie. So the idea of making him disappear is no stakes for me.
But also,
it's no stakes.
Hypothetically, here's a question: who's to say it has to be Chadwick Boseman to take?
It'll be Chadwick Boseman.
But who's to say if you follow?
No, there's no way.
No. Here's the reason.
Unless he Terrence Howard's, there's no way.
No. I'm not talking about T'Challa anymore. I'm talking about Shuri taking up the mantle.
It's not gonna, not yet. No way.
I'm talking about M'Baku taking
the sequel.
M'Baku takes up the mantle.
Not going into the sequel.
I'm saying that there's possibilities.
Not going into the sequel.
You got to think about that.
It's not going to happen.
It's in the comic books where they take their bases
in the
from.
future, but it's not, you're not going to take your second movie and take the guy who started in the first one away. You're going to give him a second movie. He's going to do another movie. What do you think they're going to do to Spider-Man? You're going to think they're going to put Miles Morales in the suit and they're not going to bring back Tom Holland anymore? Of course they are.
I mean,
it's just absurd. Here's the thing. I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is now we get to watch the adventure of how they come back, but there's no part in any of my watching it that made me think that they were dead. There was no part. There was at no point in time that I watched Chadwick Boseman disappear and I thought, oh, I'll never see him again. Never, ever.
My disagreement with that is people who died are dead, except Gamora possibly.
Right. Anybody that got snapped out of existence, it can come back.
You can come back from being snapped out of existence.
If Thanos killed you with his bare hands, Loki, Heimdall, y'all are dead.
He snapped the shit out of Loki.
And Gamora's in the Soul Stone because that's where Thanos was after he snapped his fingers and was.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
For me, that was one of my most emotional scenes. On top of something else I just found out yesterday, which fucked a lot of people's world.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll get to that. Fucked a lot of people's world. I was like, I didn't tell him.
Struggle with that one.
So the scene with Thanos, some people didn't understand it, but I love the fact they had humanized him in a sense. When we saw him, when first of all the Red Skull, which I've been saying for years, he is not good dead. I have been saying
still alive.
He is. Granted, it's not Hugo Weaving because he didn't want to do it, but who they had was a great replacement.
Yeah, Marshawn is a great replacement.
He was a great.
There's so many great voices.
So, Gamora talks. Red Skull tells Thanos it requires a soul to take the Soul Stone.
Right.
And at that time, it requires a soul of something you love.
Right.
And you just start to see Thanos' eyes water.
Right.
The tears haven't even come.
Because he knows what's coming.
But it's weird because you don't think, from the whole time you've seen him, from Guardians, Avengers, and all that, you never think he.
It seems like it's been on a soulless mission for him.
And also, the daughters are just prisoners he raises.
Yeah,
up.
they're pieces. They're pawns for him.
Pawns.
Everybody is a pawn for Thanos, is what you think until this moment.
But you know what? It goes back to Guardians 1 when Ronan is talking with the other who is talking to Thanos and Nebula, and he says, "You made Runaway my favorite daughter, Gamora."
Right.
And we took it as what it was. We didn't think it was him meaning anything.
Yeah, you could have thought he meant favorite as in like my best of my favorite of my warriors.
And until he turns, she's like, and Gamora's talking like, you've never loved anything but yourself. You don't know how. And she's laughing because she thinks he'll never get it.
Yeah.
Until she sees him crying.
I thought that was a little short-sighted on her part, that she didn't realize that might. It is a little short-sighted.
Tell me what, man. Give me your thoughts.
Well, because obviously, if he's turning around crying and he thinks that he's, the idea that she doesn't think at all that he loves her. Is I think a giant misstep by her to be dragged with him to this place and realize he's got to throw something he loves away.
Well, he didn't.
He's going at least going to try.
Neither one knew.
He was going to throw her down there no matter what. You know what I mean?
But nobody knew. She just knew the Soul Stone was there.
I know, but pretty much the minute that they were like, you got to kill something you love, I'm pretty sure she should have been like, oh, I got to go. I'm gonna get out, because he's going to at least give it a shot. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm just going to start throwing anything I even like a lot over this thing.
I'm like, you know what? I got I got a pot of beans cooking on a Milano.
But here's the thing. So my issue with that aside, it's not that I thought that made it bad. It just made me less concerned about what is going to happen, because I know for a fact they will make it back. So that doesn't make it bad. It just means that now I get to watch how this adventure is going to unfold. I think Doctor Strange kind of gave it away a little bit, where he said we're in the end game now. This was the only way. After saying that there's only one way they could win, I think he was copping to the idea that we have to lose here so that we can win overall in the long run. That, I think, is what was going down. I thought the scene with Groot...
So this is what I'm talking about with that. James Gunn, somebody asked James Gunn about what was Groot's words. James Gunn
Because all Groot can say is, I am Groot. And
so
you have to wait for someone else to interpret that usually.
So the interpretation this time came from Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn, who told everybody that in the final scene when Groot disappears, when he is saying, I am Groot, to Rocket, it translates to the word dad.
All the feelings, so much loss.
Y'all gotta excuse me for a moment.
Between Peter Parker disappearing.
Oh, nigga. Oh, that would have caught me. Oh, my God. Let me tell you something. If you saw InfinityWar and when Peter was like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. I don't want to go.
Oh, when he said, I don't want to go. Oh, man.
I was like, I can't do this. I'm in the theater.
Why you hurting me, boy? Why'd you let him have the suit, Tony? Why'd you let him have the suit?
I was like, oh my God. If he would have never gave him the Iron
I think
Spider.
that we need to address a thing. We brought some news up at one point in regards to a cast list.
Yeah.
I will happily address this as a person who we talked about a source that we had at one point. I currently don't feel this is a reliable source because I feel like I was purposefully misled. We did say that once the movie was out, we would know for sure whether this was a source that we could trust or not, and I would have no problem sharing that news with everybody.
So if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, there was a cast listing on Metacritic and of this movie, and one of the things it did not show was Peter Dinklage's character, which we found out later was Eltree or something like Eltree, and he makes the weapons for Thor and all that, and he made the gauntlet, and it also had a listing of Kirk Clendenin as the Silver Surfer. Right. Now, if you're a fan of the comic books, you do know Silver Surfer interjects within that. And also, I personally was telling people we've had a Fox and a Marvel character at the same time in Quicksilver.
There have been deals worked out before. There's an impending thing going on. Just because the Russos and Feige say things doesn't mean it always happens that way. They said this was not going to be the first of a sequel, and it really was. Right. They made some dishonest statements that were meant to mislead people, and they're well within their right to do so. So when they say that there isn't going to be a Fox character show up, I can't necessarily just believe that. Right. I reached out to Mr. Clendenin to ask him about this because he had posted some things about Silver Surfer also while this was going on. He obviously, even if someone has a deal that they can't talk about, they have to be kind of coy with what they say. Right. But I understood from what he was telling me that this was a thing that was happening. Right. And that he would share more as it was going on. And that was the basis of the source that I had where we were able to try and confirm this, was his claim of, I'll have more news for you as it goes on. Essentially, I understood that to mean, like, this is what's going on. Yeah. So, now, does that mean that he doesn't show up in Avengers 4? I don't know. Well, I'm not going to make that claim.
Well, here's the thing, too.
I know that Feige has said that there will be years before any of them shows up, but how real does that even, real is anything?
The licensing and the rights for the Fantastic Four is like 2020. However, the Fox-Disney deal, which we thought might be done, there's some things that Comcast is challenging. Now, from what I was told earlier, it is like their international TV stuff. Right. So if that be the case, potentially this deal is done and we haven't let out the particulars yet. So I just wonder...
who knows? Kirk Clendenin could be playing Silver Surfer for the Fox version. There is a version that they're working on over at Fox. He may have signed on for that.
However, Fox has said that their last movie they're going to do is Dark Phoenix.
I understand. They still have some stuff they're trying to get up and running, and we will talk about that as we get through here too. Yeah. Of the groupings that were in there, what was your favorite team up that was going on?
I had to sit back after watching it 3.5 times because I consider all the times I watched the trailer a time. I thought it would be different, but it is actually this one. It is Rocket, Groot, and Thor.
The Rocket, Groot, and Thor run.
Yo, before seeing that, I never thought that in my life I would need a Rocket and Groot and Thor movie, and now I totally
watch a Rocket, Groot, and Thor movie, right?
I totally want that.
Yeah, I would love to see something where Strange, Parker, Star-Lord, and Stark are somewhere.
By the way, fuck Peter Quill. Okay, you saw
they
the movie.
Almost had the gauntlet off of him,
and you stopped, and here's the thing, you stopped Drax from doing some irrational shit earlier off of emotion, and here you go.
Yo, first of all, how about with the Reality Stone, how this motherfucker turned Drax and Mantis into paper mache?
But it was that. I mean, like I said, I still dug it. So where do you think the next sequel, which I love the fact they still haven't told us the name. Also, before that, everybody knows the credit crawl, right? At the end of the credit crawl, normally it says such and such will return in Avengers or this, that, and the third.
Right.
This one did something completely different because it does what I've been saying it was gonna do. It said Thanos will return.
Did it? Do you feel like it properly addressed their bad guy issue? Because for years,
hell yeah,
I mean, the standard has been their movies are great, but the bad guys don't have any love. And then finally, the last few.
But I think that's why.
I think Vulture was a solid bad guy.
Yes, he was.
I think Killmonger was a solid bad guy, and I think Thanos has proven to. But
I think that was by design.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it was by design because you needed everything to build up to Thanos.
Yeah, you needed villains who are not really worth their level of salt, so that this one could show what a real villain was about. And now those villains do properly pale in comparison. You go back and you look at Whiplash. You go back and you look at.
I don't even know like that shit existed. I mean, you're not gonna put Iron Man.
Malekith. You go back and.
Okay, first of all, we all know Malekith wasn't shit. There's no fucking need to bring him up. Okay.
Even the Red Skull kind of pales in comparison to what Thanos is as a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, like the level of power that dude brings.
First of all, also before we go further, I also want to talk about how he beat the dog shit out the Hulk in the beginning.
He did beat the pants off that.
And it was funny because you saw the Hulk come in because Loki did the We Have a Hulk. And the Hulk come in just thumping Thanos. You like, oh shit, he got him. Till you see Ebony Maltel call Obsidian. No. Let him have his fun. When you hear those words, you like, what the
work he puts in on this man.
He hits this nigga with a killer instinct ultra combo. He hit that nigga with an ultra. He did about pop. Hulk was like,
when he scooped up under him to lift him up, and he gave him that grunt,
and then just slammed him in the. Hulk was like, Hulk never take ass whooping. Hulk don't know what to do.
Yeah, do you think Tony? Do you think that the Hulk is really waiting for Thanos? Or do you think he's scared?
I think it's a combination. I think he was a little bit scared, but he's scared. Your fear brings more anger and rage because you've never felt afraid.
Yeah.
So there's a potential of a lot of things. He wants to wait to fight Thanos.
I think he's mad at Banner because he's the one who always has to fight.
Well,
I think that's part of what's going on. That's why he's telling him no, because he's mad that like it's always got to be him. And so he got his ass whooped now. He was fine with it before, then he got his ass whooped and he's like, I don't want to have to be the dude who's fighting. You fight that.
Well, this is what I think because I can agree with that, but I do think that it was more so the Black Order means nothing to me. I saw them. They mean I want the dude who beat my ass.
Yeah.
And then there's a potential. Now a lot of people bring up, of course, it's a different storyline. There's a potential he can get so mad he turns red.
Right.
Now I know the storylines. Secretary Ross
is supposed to be
the Red Hulk, but they have blended storylines and done it effortlessly.
The Russos made it clear, and Feige made it clear that they want a difference between the Marvel comic universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which
they want to tell a different story.
And of course, you're going to get some of the old
nods to those things,
right?
Which they do very well.
They do it very well. So what? Go ahead.
Avengers 4. I'd like to go with. I think Disassembled might be the thing that we'll get as something like that. Something that is going to be heavy, though.
Well, I know. So the one thing we got out of the end, if you paid attention, the original 6 are alive. So the original 6 started this. The original 6 are going to have to finish this.
They've got to find the solution.
Because the original 6 have to work together again.
Correct.
They have not worked together.
And they're going to have to sacrifice somebody.
And 3 will be, well, more than likely 2 or 3 will be gone.
Yeah.
Guaranteed Steve Rogers is out of there.
I think at least one of them will be disappeared but not dead. Like proven dead. Like someone will die for sure. I think for sure at least one person will like vanish or be gone somewhere, and they won't know what happened, and there'll just be a mystery that'll go on.
Man, for you better than me, because I believe for a fact, what's going to happen is Thor's going to go back to Illatry or whatever his name is. He's going to have
Thor will survive.
No, because also Thor has to get a new gauntlet.
Right. Because
even though Thanos' gauntlet is fried,
the mold is there.
The mold is there, which they showed us earlier. I believe
that is foreshadowing for sure.
Right. I also believe Beta Ray Bill shows up because somebody has to hold the iris while Thor gets a new hammer.
I would be down to see some Beta Ray Bill.
Also, I believe Tony is going to put. I don't think Nebula might do it as in the comics, but I think Tony will sacrifice himself.
I would believe that.
Because even though he has the Iron Man suit on, that glove is power he's never dealt with. But don't be surprised and be shocked. I've said it before. He will be in the movies because he will be Peter's AI in his suit. So that's that.
I like that.
There's a list of some untitled films from the MCU and a lot of MCU news. First and foremost, one of Bobby's favorites that he keeps talking about and preaching is potentially on the table to be made a film, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight is potentially on the table. Kevin Feige said that there's a lot of moving pieces. Obviously, there's a lot of characters they've got on the board. Moon Knight is definitely what they want. I like the idea of that. Also, Ben Wheatley. Did you see the movie High Rise?
No, I did
not.
It's
a weird movie with Tom Hiddleston. So Ben Wheatley has an MCU connection with Tom Hiddleston. He also directed Free Fire. He wrote and directed that. That had Brie Larson in it. It was that weird, and Armie Hammer, I think. It was that weird movie where they were like, it's like a 70s kind of movie. It looks like almost like an English-British Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels type of deal. He has been in talks with Marvel to take on a big Marvel film. I'm just not sure, and no one is sure which one it is. But whatever one, expect some good humor, expect some good gunfire, and expect an interesting story.
I mean, he's got one of the big stuff. If you got one of the big films, you're doing something pretty.
So I'm not sure
pretty
where
much
they're
of
trying
substance.
to go with it, but I'd be interested to see who it's going to be.
Now, also when we talked about Moon Knight, Kevin Feige also mentioned he wants Ryan Coogler back for Black Panther 2. Now, of course, there would be nobody else will go see it. I don't believe you switch directors because he has the vision for this. And Coogler technically can play. He can play ball. He can say, "Look, I want to do something different. I want to do this." But he also understands he has to follow Marvel's mold.
It will have to stay. I mean, they're gonna have to move out of Wakanda somewhat in the next movie.
Well, yes, because like the beautiful thing with one was he was allowed to make an entire standalone film.
Would you like to see it hold out long enough that Storm could get involved, or would you like?
I'm not that person. I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
Because
I like that idea.
I'm not one of those because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, we can get Storm now," and yeah, I know the relationship that they have, and then they have the child later, but you're
already building something though.
And you're trying to rebuild. If you get the X-Men come 2020, whatever, which is, I need people to realize how close we are to that date.
Oh yeah, it's pretty close.
So don't think it seems like a world away. But it's a close date. I know, people think about that. Even though they said there are no immediate plans for the Fox and Marvel characters to merge.
Of the 5 movies they've got coming up, I think they don't have anything. There's definitely no Fox crossover in that.
No, none of them lead to a crossover.
Right. So would you like to see maybe Fox do something where a scene happens that kind of hands them through dimensionally to Marvel, or would you just like to see Fox's shit end?
I think,
and then Marvel just.
I think Avengers 4 can be the complete conduit to do it.
Yeah.
Because when you change reality back, reality is never the way it was.
Yeah.
So one of the offsets of realities is this inclusion of this new thing called mutants.
That would be a great addition.
That'd be the best way you could do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, they could get rid of that inhuman bullshit. By the way, every time I watch an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. through my ABC app, the very next thing they always want to get me is honestly the inhuman.
Hey man, don't you want to watch this, fam?
Stop trying to lead me back to this garbage ass show.
Hey fam,
you already got too much. The $30 you got from me when I saw that shit in IMAX was already too much in my goddamn
First of all,
money.
I feel like if you saw that shit in IMAX, you sold your soul to Satan.
They did ask Kevin Feige about horror movies like New Mutants and what his thoughts on horror movies were, and he said, the Eli Roth style, hostile type shit is not his style, but like Poltergeist is more kind of his
shit, because Eli Roth terrifies the fuck out of me, dog.
The heavy blood stuff is probably not going to be what you're going to get out of this.
Yeah, thank the Lord.
But some jump cut scare shit is going to be more.
Since we haven't had the chance to talk about this, the Venom full trailer dropped, and what's your thoughts, Bob?
I think that it's still got a long way to go. I'm very concerned still. I think the look of Venom is right. They actually got the look on him very right, I think. That was a big concern. The whole time we've been talking about this, we've been talking about whether we're going to see it. Now, that could be a scene from the last 10 minutes of the movie or whatever, like everybody's afraid of. Which would make everyone very angry. It looks like there's going to be a big build to where he gets this. Like, this is a very slow burn that's supposed to be going on. I think it'll make people very mad if you don't see Venom until the last 15 minutes.
Well, they've said it won't be that much. It'll be focused on him making the tentacles out the symbiote and whatnot.
Right.
But I will admit, some people said it looks very Spawn-esque, but I've always said that's what you can do with this suit.
That's what he does, though.
I don't know why people are complaining for it. Spawn looks like Venom.
One of the things that I have always been concerned about with a character like Venom is that suit does do that. That suit reacts on its own.
Yeah.
And like the symbiote does things on its own, like slamming somebody who's behind
Say
it
that
without
again.
looking.
Say that word
the
again.
The symbiote does. Oh yes, the symbiote.
No, symbiote.
The symbiote does. What the fuck was up with that? Jenny Slate has changed the whole lexicon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The symbiote.
We call them symbiotes.
The
You're like,
symbiote.
oh.
What?
Oh, dear Jesus, please don't ever do that again.
But it has always moved that way. There's multiple panels in comic books with that suit reacting on its own, doing things on its own without any type of without him looking that way or doing that. So scenes like him shoving that guy behind him and like pushing aside or like grabbing the motorcycle when he jumps off, like that is good stuff. That is what you're looking for.
I believe we are getting I hope this is my biggest hope with Venom. For the next trailer and the final trailer you drop, do not give us Carnage.
No.
Do not. Let him be a surprise. If you do, just at the very end,
just a dash of red.
Just have like whoever it is, because I believe it's still Woody Harrelson. Just have the face turn around, and all of a sudden it's a hat, it's a smile, and you just start to see red come over. Nothing full, just a touch. Do not. You can give me the other symbiotes from the Life Foundation. I don't care. Carnage should be saved.
Yeah.
Save Carnage.
Yeah, it's just not necessary. Like, I'm already in now. I'm ready to go see it now. If you give me too much more, I'm going to be angry.
You know what? A lot of people have started to say that, and I kind of start to agree with you what we were saying before, like how, I don't want to see no more trailers. No,
it's coming in October. It's going to be here in October. I'll be down for that.
Yeah, like I don't, I kind of get it now, what people be saying about that. But on top of Venom, I am also here for Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2 you are down for. You are into this real hard right now.
When he told that Mog, "You are so dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe?" I was like, well, if this movie didn't have my ticket money already.
There are a number of jokes that are going to be built into this that are going to be heavy pop culture references.
Oh, there's in the Goonie, there's the One-Eyed Willie reference. There's so supposedly with the roster is full. Supposedly the track listings reveal that Juggernaut is in the movie.
Yeah. I am here for Juggernaut.
Yo, give me something better than Vinnie Jones and X-Men The Last Stand.
Yeah.
Yo, do him right.
There's an invisible character.
Yep.
Do you know who that is?
Who?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure who that is.
So I know supposedly, like I said, Bill Skarsgård is Zeitgeist.
Right.
Domino is
Terry Crews is officially Bedlam.
He's Bedlam. Supposedly Rob Delaney's Peter is more than what we see.
Yes, because they keep saying that he doesn't have powers, but Pete, the Marvel character, was able to shoot like light beams or something. So
who knows, man? What do you think it's gonna do for this?
I think it's gonna kill. I'm excited. I'm actually excited to see it. I'm hoping that like the adding of additional characters takes some of the weight off of Ryan Reynolds, because I think that it's tough to carry a team like he had to do on the last one. I'm interested to see what happens with what's her face in this one,
Zazie Beetz. Oh, you talking about Morena Baccarin?
Morena Baccarin. I'm interested to see where her character goes in this.
I don't think she gets that much screen time in this.
Yeah, it's possible. And I'm excited to see the X-Force form and really come together. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yes, that's what I'm
how
looking
that
for.
plays out from here, because I think that'll be a good run. I am very excited to see Josh Brolin in his second Marvel role in 2 months. Speaking of somebody who's making some loot right now.
I said this on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, right after I saw InfinityWar. I said he killed it as Thanos. If he destroys his Cable, give that man all the awards.
He's got to get something, right?
You've done 2 superhero franchises in 1 year in 2 different universes and successfully pulled both off. Like the look and the attitude he has to Cable. Like I was one of those people who was skeptical when I heard it was Brolin. I was like, he's not big enough.
But he's pulling it off.
He is pulling it off immensely. And something that's being pulled off that should be pulled the fuck away. The Black Widow solo film.
You don't think this should happen?
Hell the fuck no.
They've been waiting for this to happen.
And I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like, how are you going to say that? The reason being because they are doing what I said they should not fucking do.
And do a prequel? Are you against the prequel idea?
Yes, because we're too far in. We're way in deep with her.
You know a lot about what's going on.
We know about. We've seen backstories about her.
You just need a side mission for her. You don't need that. You can do a regular Soviet spy mission for her away from this.
So here's the film. That this is tentatively what's supposed to be the structure of the film. Now this is from the hashtag show.
Right.
Is it a film of finding Natasha living in the United States 15 years after the fall of the Soviet Union? That timeline places firmly in the mid-2000s, meaning we'll meet up with Nat prior to the events of Iron Man 2, and that time frame opens up plenty of options. Now, many people want to see a Black Widow Hawkeye team up in Budapest because we never know what the story.
There's a story about Budapest. There's a big thing that went down.
And we've been told that there's early discussions about the film involving Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier,
right? Which
I'm not surprised.
Right. If she's on spy missions, for sure you're unleashing the Winter Soldier on some shit. They've got some run-ins. They could do that.
The crazy part, though,
this is the craziest shit. They're really trying to figure out who to run this movie.
They have talked to 65 directors. I understand you want to get it right.
They want to get it right,
and you're going to have a woman direct this. But Jesus Christ, 65! You were telling people in college, "Hey man, come on down to Marvel."
They had an open call.
You got an open house.
You know those phone jobs where you're just calling people's houses and shit, and they have
good morning. This is Kevin Feige.
And you come in, and there's like 30 people, and like, so what? Who would say what their best quality is?
So Kevin Feige's like, "Hey, good morning. How you doing? I was wondering, is Adrian there? Hey, this is Kevin Feige. You want to do a little quick phone interview? Yeah, I'm doing 62 of these today. So can you tell me your best qualities making a movie?
65 directors.
Ooh.
All to tell a basic spy story.
And I think it's because the one they potentially wanted is gone. Well, two of them that they potentially wanted.
Yeah.
Because Patty Jenkins was supposed to have done, she was supposed to have done some Marvel movie, and then that's why DC snatched her up. And we already know about Ava DuVernay, who was originally tapped to do Black Panther.
Well, the other thing that happens, too, is that, when there's an open door now to some greater equality when it comes to hiring, there's a lot of good people that get snatched up very quickly for multiple things, and people will make commitments for a few years out now. So you can't even get to some of the top flight female directors at the moment because the market is super hot if you're at the top of your game. Good luck signing Ava DuVernay to fucking do anything right now because she's locked up. Good luck signing Patty Jenkins to do anything right now.
Yeah.
She's locked up. Good, you know what I mean? You can go down the list of these directors
Do you
and go,
think
they're busy.
So here's the question. There are two female directors, I believe, directing Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. Would you?
It's a guy and a girl team.
It's a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you take a chance, hypothetically, on Catherine Bigelow doing a Marvel film?
That would be great. I think Catherine Bigelow doing a Black Widow film would be great. You can do that real, grimy, hardcore,
because she knows how to do that
type shit.
She knows how to do it. And she's an Academy Award-winning director.
That would be a
I know that doesn't mean a lot.
I would I would love a Catherine Bigelow Marvel movie.
Okay.
Is Catherine Bigelow someone who would work in the constraints of what?
That's the only issue.
But doing a period piece, though, with Scarlett Johansson, in this period of time, there's only a couple things that have to get fit into the story. There's only a couple requirements. And as long as she's directing the story and not writing it, maybe she can have some leeway with
I think Catherine Bigelow wants to have her input in the writing room for
that's
that.
The difficulty.
So that's the difficult part about that.
Yeah.
So a little more bit of Marvel,
Little more bit.
I sounded like I got on a linen suit and some sandals at a fucking barbecue. Lord have mercy. Here's a little more bit, Luke.
You were talking like the place where this movie's taking place, Gambit, New Orleans.
That's why I couldn't. You
didn't want to talk about it. Despite a lot of announcements about this movie being ready, there's been we've been talking about how this movie is going into production and how this is happening. And despite all that, Simon Kinberg still referred to the movie as something they're still trying to get up and running, which means they do not have it up and running right now. That's what that means.
Bury the fuck out of this idea.
The movie is not.
Yo, it's no reason for this to happen.
And if the sale is going through, I'm sure Marvel is going to be like, hey, why don't y'all just stop, okay?
I think Marvel's going to be like, yo, we wanted Channing Tatum. We'd have been got Channing Tatum, so pretty much not going to happen.
On the plus side, Cloak and Dagger is fastly approaching. June is coming, and with it, Cloak and Dagger will premiere.
I am super excited to see this.
The Bobby Hill origin story is...
This nigga here. This motherfucker that took... two teenagers.
I am all about this show. This is...
This motherfucker said... He said this is his daddy's version of How I Met Your Mother.
This is my dad. This is
Jesus Christ.
This is How I Met Your Mother, the Team Beige version.
Oh my God, my head hurts now. Yeah.
The final trailer is out. Of course, it has to do with some voodoo shit. These two.
Yep.
So if you're in New Orleans, there's got to be some voodoo shit.
Yeah, you can't do anything. You can't do anything New Orleans without some voodoo.
Is it supernatural at all? It's voodoo shit. Okay.
Look, I was watching an episode of Naked and Afraid. First of all, don't you ever laugh. Naked and Afraid is one of the best goddamn shows on TV. Okay?
Oh my God.
I want to see somebody have sex on their show.
I love Naked and Afraid.
Yo, Naked and Afraid is so.
What type of basic cable program is
no, bro, you take two quote-unquote extreme survivalists, drop them off in a place where nobody lives for a fucking reason, have them run around for 21 days butt-ass naked with just a satchel and a camera. It's a fucking, what the fuck is that material? Like the Scarecrow's bag, a potato sack satchel.
But see, here's the problem is, nobody dies.
Yo, they come close to dying a lot.
They're not gonna let them die.
Yo,
and if they would just change that one rule, I would watch.
Yo, okay, so here's the thing. Since
so
you
just throw in death.
No, listen to me on this though. I'll get back to the voodoo episode. One dude was like, we're in the swamp, and there's voodoo and mysticism and the rigamaroos. But here's the thing. They are
the rigamaroos?
Rigamaroos. Now, you can go ahead and weapons that shit later. They are doing the Naked and Afraid XL challenge, which means it's 13 of them for 40 days now. Not 21. 40, and they are in the deep savannah.
Can they murder?
Listen to me.
Totally murder.
They are deep in the Sahara of Africa, okay? And here's the catch. Yo, I swear to God, one of the producers had to come tell these chicks that had their setup. She was like, I just need to let y'all know, 2 hours ago, we found 2 poachers murdered by lions.
Oh, shit. Yeah. See, if there's real death that's going to happen, but see, if it's just if there's bullshitting for a story, I want
they showed them carrying the bodies out of the poachers dead.
I need real death.
And so she had a big ass rifle on her shoulder.
Otherwise, it's like naked and scared until we yell cut.
No, come on, man, stop that, bro. This movie.
Well, I'm ready for Cloak and Dagger. I can't wait to see this. I like the story. I like the way they flipped it with the brother being rich and her being broke.
Goddamn right. I'm sorry.
I like that change up. We do have season 2 picks that are out for the Punisher.
Hey man, I don't want to see shit for the Punisher until it come out. Let me tell you why. Because I didn't get a chance to be Barracuda.
Hopefully, it's not just babysitting Micro's wife this season.
I just want him to fuck her. Like, I just really want to slip up and like, so David, I kind of had sex with your wife. What happened? She gave me wine. And
in shows that are coming sooner, LukeCage season 2, the trailer is out.
Which, by the way, I am now using my YouTube channel. If you go, you can check out my YouTube trailer reaction to this trailer. Holy fuck.
Dude, I am so there for it. Season 1, they had a lot of high points to it.
No, nigga, let's just call it for what it is. Shit died after episode 7.
It was mediocre. Episode 7 was the highlight of season 1, and then it all went to trash because the main character you needed, Diamondback, was gone.
Yeah, that hurt us so bad.
And this other brother couldn't carry it as the main villain.
First of all, you got a G.I. Joe without the Kung Fu grip nigga to play your main villain. You got this nigga with the 1990 Malik Yoba haircut that he had on New York Undercover. You got this nigga that wore suits that look like your deacon wears in every storefront church. You got him reading passages from a Bible with a lot of highlighters, which means that really is a black Bible because it's always got to have different color highlighters in it. And it just was bad.
I like that the Bushmaster in this is pretty much...
I didn't hear it very well at first. I thought they said Wishmaster. I was like, oh, the Bushman. First of all, am I the only one that when I looked at him, I was like, yo, is that Chris Rock? I was like, yo.
Shabba. He was at a...
I was like, yo.
Yeah, this is going to be a cold-ass series.
I was like, Chris Rock out here doing martial arts and shit.
You got a lot of villains that are back. LukeCage looks to be finally a little vulnerable in some areas. This motherfucker got his ass beat on some capoeira type shit.
He was spitting out blood, dog. I was like, oh.
So the challenge looks like it's going to be greater. You're going to see this. You're going to see some empowerment that's going to come on this season. Obviously, once you realize you got a bulletproof brother,
Misty get her arm.
Misty gets her arm.
I will buy what he said. Hold up before you forget this. We forget this. Y'all heard a line close to the end of that trailer that will now be a clip in our show. I swear to God,
added on. To
it will
show.
be added on. He was like, "What am I, your sidekick? No, you mine." You
That's
know,
the right.
That will be added into the opening credits of this bitch somehow, some way. Jesus.
Hell yeah. Going over to the DC side, there's major news in the DC universe. They are launching their streaming service finally. There's been a lot of talk. We know they've been filming for the Titans.
Titans,
and that was supposed to go into that side. They finally settled on a title. It's going to be called the DC Universe. How imaginative is that?
Like we haven't been calling it the DCEU, the DC basically animated universe, and so you're just like, oh, this is the DC universe. Who in the fuck in the marketing office was like, I've got the greatest idea, and who was behind them?
It sounds like they ran out of time.
They're
like, listen, the launch is tomorrow. Oh shit, what are we gonna call this motherfucker?
Somebody was like, we got 8 minutes.
Somebody just use that generic universe graphic we've got in the back.
Jesus.
Not off to a great start. Now, this is going to be purely DC materials, and so expect it to probably be a little more expensive. I don't think this is going to be cheap. I'm thinking $9.99.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely going to be a pay service. Also,
it is a pay service. It's just a matter, it's not going to be $4.99.
Oh, yeah, they're going to make you pay.
Because this is a very specific piece of content going on here.
Dude, the fact that we don't, like, Constantine is now on CW Seed, and I'm grateful for it.
Sure.
Because I could see that easily being brought over.
It could slide over at some point. There's going to be some darker things here. So far, they've announced 4 titles. One that we knew for sure, and then a couple others that were a little bit of a surprise.
So, Young Justice Season 3, everybody, if you started watching Young Justice Season 1, you had to jump into Young Justice Season 2, and it made you want a Season 3.
Season 3 is coming.
It's coming.
The DC universe.
They're doing a Harley Quinn cartoon.
It's going to be anime, but it's supposed to be darker. It's supposed to be like a darker adult version. So this is going to be worth the money of paying for that.
And also, to go back to Titans, they have officially cast Wonder Girl, aka Donna Troy. She's going to be played by Connor Leslie from the Blacklist. Now, for those who don't know, Donna Troy's original iteration was she was orphaned from Themyscira. They retconned it later, so we don't know exactly how it pans out. She was the sister of Diana Prince, who in turn is Wonder Woman. Correct. So it's not any real telling as to how she'll play a role, but she has been seen on set with Robin Brennan Thwaites. So now we've got pictures of Wonder Girl, Robin, Hawk and Dove. We got the Doom Patrol. We've got a somewhat picture of Beast Boy,
a little bit of Beast Boy, Starfire.
Raven, and Starfire.
Right.
We don't know if we're gonna get a 5th Titan.
Correct.
So, do you think they're making us wait on this?
I think so. I think they're specifically holding back on a couple of things here. I think there's a lot more to see here. I think they've undersold it somewhat. I mean, we still have Hawk and Dove that's come. Well,
they're part of the show.
Yeah. So I'm still interested in seeing where it's going. There's a lot of stuff still coming from this. I'm actually pretty excited about Titans. I think it's still Berlanti. This is a Berlanti run show, so I'm still expecting solid things out of this. I trust in Greg Berlanti.
These are Berlanti shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So Young Justice will be the animated show. Harley Quinn will be animated. The 4th show, though, I thought was the main and major surprise here. We knew Titans was going to be on the streaming service, but this 4th show was a big winner.
They are bringing in SwampThing.
SwampThing is happening, and it is coming from James Wan.
Which lets me know it's going to be dark.
It also lets you know that they definitely like what they've seen from Aquaman so far.
Yeah, they definitely like it. They trust it.
They trust his stuff. They trust his water filming, obviously, because his ideas on filming water shit, they're like, well, you can do the swamp guy now.
Here's the problem with that, and this is not to discredit James Wan by any means. They liked what they saw with BVS. They liked what they saw with Suicide Squad. They liked what they saw with Justice League. Mm-hmm. So we got those films. And again, it's not taking any credit away from James Wan. Sure. It's not taking away from Jason Momoa or any other cast of Aquaman. It's just that when you hear, because they like what they saw, is the reason
that may not carry a lot of weight anymore.
It doesn't carry as much volume. Like,
well, hopefully Aquaman is good. Hopefully Swamp Thing is good. Were you a big Swamp Thing fan?
Hell yeah! I love the movies. I loved the movies as a kid, so to see this happening as, right now as a series potentially, and they say it's going to have a lot of supernatural elements and things like that. I'm for it. So
well, Mark Verheiden, who did Battlestar Galactica and Daredevil, he's solid, and so is Gary Dauberman, who did It. And
so I'm good.
So those are your showrunners.
I mean, the people who are a part of it, I'm good. Again, it's just that, it's Warner Brothers likes to put their hands in too much stuff
a lot of times.
So
the question is, will it get to be like
will it get to be what it should be?
Right.
Plain and simple.
Will they give him the freedom to make the right thing here, or are they trying to build something that's going to be somehow connected to their larger piece of garbage?
And
now,
see,
it is a script to series approval, so as long as the script for the pilot doesn't suck, then the whole thing is a go.
and of course it's on their streaming site, so
They'll probably.
here's the thing that's being rebranded that shouldn't fucking happen at all. Metropolis. Yeah, you already thought we got one Superman spinoff. We were getting another one based off of Lois Lane and Lex Luthor working together to solve crime.
This was already going to be happening. It was originally scheduled to be happening sooner. It's being pushed back to be redeveloped because of James Wan's commitment to Swamp Thing. James Wan obviously put Swamp Thing ahead of Metropolis.
Somebody told them the idea sucked. Somebody told them, because that idea does suck.
It was a 13-episode direct-to-series, though, so whatever the idea was, they really liked it. They're just going to probably give it to somebody else because James Wan's going to be tied up.
Yeah, okay.
Birds of Prey is happening. It is happening in the fast lane now. Kathy Yan is going to be directing it.
Which is dope to be the first Asian American female director for a major superhero film, which is super dope, you know.
Yeah, and this is from a Christina Hodson script, and Christina Hodson script is why this is happening when it's happening, actually. The news has come out that they pushed back a couple of other things like Gotham City Sirens and Suicide Squad and the Harley Quinn and Joker spinoff movie, which do we really need another Harley Quinn and Joker movie anyway?
I really hate the fact that is still an option on the table.
Well, they're going to be pushed back a little ways because they like her script so much with this that they want to bring this forward. What do you think, though? Because Harley Quinn is still going to be the center of what this movie is about. So, I mean, do you feel comfortable in building a movie that's supposed to be about three heroes, but it's really centered about Margot Robbie?
No.
That's a difficult thing.
No, because that Harley Quinn sucks.
You don't like the Margot Robbie.
I don't like the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn.
Everything in there is going to be terrible.
And I'm not saying I don't like her as an actor because I like movies she's in. I like Focus. I like I, Tonya. I like certain things she's in. But it's just that her as Harley Quinn is like, yo, you can't even keep what accent you want to use straight.
Well, the goal of this, they've decided, and this is the reason why they've pulled it up, is because they want to introduce Batgirl in this movie before giving her the solo film.
Well, like that makes sense.
They're trying to Black Panther.
That
Batgirl.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Which means that whoever they sign, Haley Steinfeld, maybe they will. Please, Haley Steinfeld.
That's just Bobby's hopes and dreams.
Whoever they sign for that should be able to carry through, and maybe we'll take some of the shine from Margot Robbie, and you can see the focus change maybe a little bit. I do like that idea, though, of creating a way to kind of introduce her into the series. So
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is trying his hand at a DC movie.
This might be the greatest luck they can.
This is so weird.
Especially coming out the
so disconnected from everything else they're doing.
I know, but just coming off of Ready Player One, I can see this happening now. He's producing the Blackhawk film now. David Koepp, who wrote Jurassic Park, Spider-Man, Indiana Jones, and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That last one is not inspiring.
Yeah, because I remember that Shia LaBeouf piece of shit so well. Now, it's created, so for those who don't know about Blackhawk, he was created in the 1940s, is the leader of a small squadron of ace pilots. Now, the team does battle with Nazis and other assorted tyrants and supervillains. Why? Unless it leads to something current, do we need to do superheroes in the past?
There's no need for this. It's connected to no things at all. Spielberg saw a project that he liked. It turned out to be DC's. He's probably just like, I'll figure out some deal so I can do what I want to do. That's probably what's going on. He wants to direct some shit with some airplanes from the 1940s because that's Spielberg shit. He's like, what? It's got airplanes? It's in the 1940s? I'll do it. That's his... That's his whole game plan. Can I make some World War II type shit? I'm in.
So let's go to the next thing. Probably the best shining light, the beacon of hope throughout all of DC.
The Arrowverse.
Which is weird because some of these shows are like, what the fuck? Supergirl. The World Killers are all together now. Pestilence, Fury.
All in together now.
Holding together now, making more better now, dancing nice with no competition. I don't know why I just felt like that line should come out.
So Lean had been holding Sam hostage essentially.
But you can't leave.
Shocking her ass into being
But you can't leave till I fix you. I'm gonna fix you, girl. You can't go.
And then Pestilence, the third world killer, got loose and decided
it was
to get
a doctor, which is so fucked.
Oh, just fucking everybody up, and goes and lets her out. So now all three of the world killers are all loose now.
And now the newspaper has taken a back seat.
There is no more news. Fuck the newspaper. Everybody's working at the DEO.
Yeah, because James is trying to.
James ain't been at the paper in a month and a half.
And he ain't been Guardian either, which is good for everything.
Right.
Here's the thing. I saw it as one of the notes that we have, And I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Mon-El and Kara, have they come to Jesus moment?
I mean, so obviously if you go on to any of the threads that are out there in the world, there's been a lot of talk about Kara and Mon-El and their relationship, and whether Mon-El is actually being supportive or supporting a feminist agenda, which is what the show is ideally supposed to be somewhat about, or whether he was kind of just a piece of shit douchebag. And he went from douchebag to respectable,
He did.
but some people still kind of hated his involvement and felt that he was still kind of not giving her full value. And
She
so
ain't giving herself up for
they took a big step in one of the episodes over the time that we were getting ready to record this, where they really had him go down that path of, you know, dealing with his douchiness and him coming to being like, yeah, I was a piece of shit, dog.
I'm a piece of shit, but you made me better, though.
You made me.
You made me
want to be better, ho. I went
around
to the future and built a whole life built off of the shit you taught me.
He was around this motherfucker sounding like, was it Neo or the Dream? So I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together.
So they figure their shit out, and I thought that was good because now they can move past it. They've taken away that complaint that people have,
like, yo,
and they've given him somebody else to deal with. He's now Imra's his problem, and they can't get along on shit.
Man, him and his husband and wife, this shit ain't gonna last. I guess she leave without this nigga.
Speaking of things that won't last,
again, we talked about this earlier a little bit. Lena kidnapped Sam, and why she kidnapped Sam, she found out that Sam is actually Rain, and she tried to figure out how to control it, this, that, and the third. Now, the whole time,
Sam did not like this when she realized what was going on.
She was like, I'm not, this bitch pushed me by trees, it's dark, I don't want to do this. Like, she clearly and vocally has said several times in the episode, I do not want to do this. But yet Lena was like, we got to do this.
We got to get you
We got to get you together, girl. We got to get you right. We got to get you right, okay? We got to get your soul together.
Like the meddling, evil person that she is descended from.
Listen, I got to get your soul together. And this is for the best of humanity.
Yeah.
Humanity.
So now Kara's going to have to deal with all three world killers.
Because when she goes, she finds out that pestilence and purity.
The fuck is Clark?
Nope, don't do it. Nope.
Where is he? He can't be off the world all this time.
That nigga's on vacation.
Where's Barry? Get Barry up in the smoke.
Barry got some own shit to deal with in his own time, okay? It would have been fucked up if every time something happened, she just clicked that little breach thing and go, hey, I'm here. I need y'all.
I got an issue going on. You know what a world killer is?
Can y'all come through and help real quick? No, please.
Speaking of Barry, over on Flash, we get a little Laurel Lance drop in.
Which I'm tired of seeing Katie fucking Cassidy.
Well, she's gonna be leaving, I think, pretty soon.
She ain't going no fucking where.
She needs work, man. She needs work.
She going somewhere on the fucking CW.
She Siren X's on the Flash.
Of course, Earth X had a Siren X.
You get a little Leonard Snart. You get our last bit of Leonard Snart in previous episode when they're trying to shut down our man who's got the radioactive power. Yeah, another DeVoe victim.
And Barry learns he has to grieve.
Yeah, because Dibney gets the shit killed out of him.
Whatever. Let's move forward. First of all, let's talk about this one thing that really hurt me. Cisco and Gypsy, because Gypsy's an asshole.
Gypsy is an asshole.
Let me tell you. Now, you all might disagree with me.
Cisco is a sweetheart.
Cisco is a fucking sweetheart. He is the light. He is a marshmallow heart. He is the life and soul.
He is just trying to love.
He is just trying to love unequivocally. And motherfucking Gypsy, first of all, Cisco tells her, I love you. I want more than this for us. He was like, are you happy? She was like, yeah. Do you want more? She was like, no. If that was me,
bitch. Why are you even on this planet? Why don't you breach the fuck out of here, ho?
I don't know if I'd have been that aggressive. Jesus. Well, we'll get ready for the Reddit post. She breached the fuck out of here, bitch. I'm like, because he was like, I would have been like, what the? Are you fucking serious? Bitch, I've been sitting there avoiding things because I want to love you, and you just around here trying to be what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that hurt.
Or I'd have been like, so are we free to hoe around?
Are we free to breach hoe around?
Can I breach my wholeness?
Because I got some chicken Earth 19 I want to go smash.
I got an Earth 22, bro.
I got an Earth 22 been waiting. She been
how about Harry and Cecile working together? Harry used dark matter and the thinking cap. Dumbest name ever for a MacGuffin.
He's getting dumb about it.
But the thoughts are in there, and Cecile is able to read his mind and pull them out, which I think is pretty dope. It finds a way to use Cecile's power, right?
Yes,
they had to figure out a way to use it. And for her being a conduit, that's going to be good. I thought that was solid. We have to talk about DeVoe killing Dick.
No, we don't. No, we
Come
don't.
on.
I'm past that. Look, do you see the kink in Devo? Because he's killed them all. Like, we got everybody but one or something.
I think the chink is Marlize.
Oh, Merlee's going to be the one. Yo.
She going to be the one that's like,
first of all,
fuck this bullshit.
First of all, when she was sitting in the chair, and he was like, you don't do it. She's like, the fuck you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Like, I built all this shit,
that
fam.
stuff, like, I think that therefore she is about her.
Because now she's realizing.
She is thinking.
Because now she was all apart. She was all gung-ho with him. Like, yo, we need to change humanity and have them think a certain way. But when this mog started just making cops shoot themselves in the face.
Oh, yeah.
First of all,
that was too much for her.
When you heard the one cop was 24, newly married, and had a kid.
Oh, man. She was, yeah. And so he's just ruthless. And so I think that will be the thing that ends up being the thing that turns her tide. At some point, she will flip and will get him defeated.
We now know who the mystery girl is.
The mystery girl
is Dawn Allen.
It's going to be Dawn Allen.
And because her light was purple and yellow, and people don't remember what happened, Iris had the Speed Force. She had purple lightning. Barry has yellow. She keeps trying to.
She's a speedster.
She didn't do with the dumb shit her daddy's not supposed to do no more, and ran through fucking time. Clearly, this is going to lead to what happens in season 5.
Right.
That's all it is. Because she's here for...
She's a setup for season 5.
She's a setup for season 5.
And the question is whether she's got good intentions or bad intentions. I think that's the question.
I mean, she loved her parents, I think.
Maybe.
Or does she hate...
Or maybe she's bitter. Maybe she's from a timeline that does not go well. Which Barry is she getting?
I don't know, but maybe
is
she's
she
like...
from the Barry timeline?
Daddy, you wasn't here on my birthdays.
Right.
You was running the fuck around.
They did find a pretty good looking, like the right
she's
actor
the
to play that
perfect
role.
shade.
She looks like
she's the perfect shade.
She's a great beige, you know. She's.
I should have known we were coming back to that one. Should have known we were gonna come back to the beigeness.
Over on Arrow, Oliver is in some deep ass shit. He can't seem to win. Every time he wins, he loses.
First of all, Ricardo Diaz. I like Ricardo Diaz for one reason and one reason alone. He is a regular dude.
And he's ruthless.
And he don't give a fuck.
No. He cheats in fights, doesn't give a fuck.
Like the man told him, yo, if I put you down, you gotta leave. And Oliver was like, cool, it's gonna be a fair fight.
Yeah, okay.
And Locke shanked the shit out of him. And then you have Oliver on trial, which this had a lot of people going a lot of different ways, because in the previews we saw Colin Donnell return as Tommy Merlin. Oh my God, that's my stomach, Jesus. My stomach just rumbled twice. Like, hey, fam. I'm sorry. I didn't know I heard it. I was like, oh, I heard it through my headphones. I know the mic picked it up. Oh, God. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry. I need to. My stomach.
He's going to have to eat after this.
My stomach's like, time to roll, Cole.
You and Tommy Merlin both coming back from the dead. Your stomach and Tommy Merlin.
I was like, yo, is it possible? I was like, when I saw him, I was like, oh, Merlin must have grabbed the body and took him to the Lazarus pit. I'm like, that's a potential.
That was what I thought had happened.
That's what I thought would happen. But then you find out it's Chris Chance.
Which for a minute I was upset, because I was like, again with this shit?
But it
again?
worked.
But the way they swerved it, where it turned out that did not work for him, was even better.
Yeah, and then the judge was like, yeah, you know what, you get to go free. First of all,
that part was the swerve that got me.
No, this is what this is. This is called white privilege at its best.
If that was Diggle on trial,
that nigga would be taken out and chained.
Shoot him this afternoon.
Sir, we sentenced you to death by firing squad.
Sir, we have officially allowed all white people to call you nigger with no repercussions.
Because I get it's a TV show. For Oliver to be convicted on first-degree murder charges, and the lawyer say, yeah, we move for judgment, notwithstanding verdict. And the lawyer, even though it's a fake judge at the time, he's like, yeah, that's cool, let's do that. Like, what? In what world can you sit there? It was like,
well, when Chance is dressed up like the judge,
yeah.
And how bad did it cost that judge when it came down to it?
Smooth.
Ricardo Diaz was not fucking around.
But then he was like, then we got to the point where I was hoping he would get. He's like, you know what? I didn't want to do this. I'm gonna kill him, and I'm gonna kill everybody close to him.
Yeah.
Which gives us to our next topic. Paul Blackthorne is officially leaving the show.
He is done after this.
Quentin
season.
Lance is leaving, but also contract renewals do come back up after 6
This
seasons.
is true.
He's put in his work. He's put in his time.
Correct.
So basically, he finna get shot in the face. They not finna do anything that leaves any hope of him coming back.
This will be the final straw in Laurel Lance deciding whether she's going to be a bad guy or a good guy. This will be. She's been questioning her allegiance to Diaz. She was ready to kill him at the end of that episode, but he had that device to silence her powers.
Oh, that was dope. He had that muffler.
He had the muffler.
Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up.
Shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
What you gonna say? You gonna scream at me? No, you're not.
I think both of them will die.
Oh man, how many husbands want that device?
Well, you know what? Co-executive producer Beth Schwartz, we didn't talk about this, has been promoted to executive producer and sole showrunner for the next upcoming seventh season. Wendy Miracle is leaving the show, which scares me.
Beth Schwartz.
Congrats to Beth Schwartz. Nonetheless, she's been a writer.
She got a job coming up to her here.
Well, she was in the writer's room, so she understands everything.
She knows the character. She's been there for a minute.
Yeah.
She knows what's going on. I do like Wendy Miracle. I think she's done a great job with the show.
She's done an amazing job.
But I think everybody's got to move on at some point. Maybe this fresh blood will create a good direction for season 7.
Let's talk about Krypton. Okay, here's the thing. Brainiac has happened. Adam Strange is bisexual. What?
Brainiac is happening. Adam Strange is bisexual.
Because you found out the way he was looking at one of the guards. He was like, And he was like, okay, so we established that the coup failed and the fallout. Now you got Black Zero being part of the real General Zod, who is Colin Salmon, which I'm like, I am here for that.
Right. Now, again, this was a show that we were not sure why it was happening at one point.
Yeah, but it took a while to build up steam.
But are you mad at it, though?
I would say.
But are you mad at it, though? Like, the espionage and the shit that's going on and the allegiances that are happening and Nyssa almost dying and the trick she pulls on her dad and then thinking that the dad was going to team with them and then he still calls out for the guards and they knock his ass out, beat the guards up and leave. Are you telling me, are you mad at it, though?
I just don't care. I mean,
but are you mad at it, though? Or are you like, okay, it didn't need to be here, but it is pretty all right.
But are you mad at it? That's got to be a soundbite from here on in. But are you mad at it, though? Like, are you really mad at it, though?
You know, they're not doing a terrible job with it,
My
right? Like,
God.
they showed Doomsday. I mean, that was cold as shit.
I saw it. I didn't go back,
Dude,
but I heard
they spill L and Zod blood in the little that chamber that they had at the bottom that the Sithonites were guarding, and the thing opened up and Doomsday was asleep in the goddamn chamber. The show is working. They got Zod in there, and it's,
the Zod part is cool. Now it seems like Adam Strange is out to change some things that don't look like he's on Sag-El's side anymore, because he was like, oh yeah, I gotta kill, I know what I gotta do, and it's like,
kill Zod, and you
gotta kill Zod. And
he's going to go get another hero, though, and they did talk about this at the beginning, that they were going to interchange some different heroes. Are going to be showing up in these timelines.
He's gonna bring in Dr. Fate.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see who shows up. I'm excited about seeing who's going to show up there. Over on Gotham, that face.
Nigga, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna express my deepest, darkest feelings when it comes to Gotham. Every time, every single time,
every episode,
I try to get into this show and think there is potential. There's hope. There is light within the darkness. Then they do some dumbass shit like bring Ra's al Ghul back from the dead. I was like, yo.
He has returned.
I was like, yo, y'all didn't know where you were going and fucking do it.
Ra's al Ghul always comes back from the dead, though.
Now
that is the Ra's al Ghul.
He basically told us he's going to train Bruce. He told him, I'm going to turn you into a Dark Knight of Gotham.
You're going to get it.
The whole Nigma, Lee, Penguin, and Butch. But first of all, why the fuck I got to call him Butch? I
know you want Solomon. You know he's gonna go back to being Solomon at some point.
You better smack this motherfucker in the head with us.
I can't wait. I spend every episode waiting for him to get hit in the head.
Because
every episode I'm just like, please somebody hit this motherfucker in the
somebody
dome.
Pick up a slab of concrete and smack the shit out of him with.
The Enigma love story at the moment is a little too much for me. That part I'm just kind of like, I enjoy a lot. I still like the show. I enjoy a lot of shit about it. The whole thing going on with Jeremiah and Jerome and the whole Joker deal is hilarious to me.
Again, you wonder why I feel the way I feel about this show. That shit.
I do like this rise though. This build of how this Joker character is coming into play. I like the way the setup is happening.
What it did, it made sense in the realm that, oh, this is how you have the Joker and he doesn't know who Batman is.
Right.
That's so that in that aspect I'm cool with. But as a whole,
they've got to find some way to send him off, though. He's got to disappear for a while. They can't just be this guy who's around this whole time. He's got to get captured or put away or sent away, or something's got to happen when he goes away.
Because Jeremiah has to be gone.
They've got to get rid of him so the city can calm down. The city can't just be running around this whole time. Otherwise, Bruce will never have time to go be Batman.
Oh my God, this is just so weird. It's just so fucking weird.
I love it. Speaking of a show that's getting closer to its end, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is it though?
I hope not. I really hope not.
All right, so this is what they did. They flipped the script on everybody.
What a great change up, huh?
They turned Talbot into Graviton.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay.
With the costume and everything.
I was like,
have you seen pictures of the? Do you know about the character Graviton?
I'm vaguely familiar.
It's okay if you don't, because he's not a very well-known character. It's a stretch that they even use this guy. When you look at pictures of him, it is. They got Talbot looking just like this dude. Look at this picture. You can't see this obviously when you're listening, but I mean, if you Google a picture of Graviton while you're looking at this,
yeah, I did it.
That's Talbot. I mean,
oh my goodness! So
it's a great job. It's a wonderful nod by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to get use of a character that's little used or not the most.
Yo, I've really lost all interest in Daisy. Chloe Bennett was my shit going in this show. That was my saving grace.
And then Talbot was like, whoop, and just tossed her ass to the side.
And then you got Deke trying to act like he cares, but don't want to say shit. Nigga, you are from the 900th century. Say something.
Speak up. You ain't even alive yet. What do you have to lose? The yo-yo shit with Mac. First of all, Mac, how do you still believe in the good book when you've seen aliens? Okay, like,
first of all, that make me believe in the Bible even more. We full black people out here. We see some demons and aliens. We turn into
demons are different than aliens.
They are the
aliens,
same.
There are more planets. Demons is a different.
We
world
are turning to
altogether.
Psalms. Okay, don't you say nothing else.
Psalms.
Yeah, I know the P is silent. Normally, we turn into Psalms.
It's such a ridiculous thing. His thing of like no killing. Do you understand that sometimes you just gotta live?
First of all, we shield. That's not what we do, nigga. You better put that to the side.
You know who y'all been killing in this process?
I don't know. So
Yo-Yo's still trying to pull her shit together though.
After murdering Ruby,
the fight with her and Daisy was pretty solid. I like that. And then May was like, "Break it up, children." And they're also trying to save Coulson with the DNA of Daisy's mother.
That sounds weird as fuck.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm still mad that the Coulson You've Been Dreaming thing did not come to fruition, because that was the best tie-in to Avengers 1.
Yeah.
And then we got the whole... There's supposedly it's gonna tie into the events post InfinityWar.
Well, they do talk about Thanos when they with Graviton there. They talk about Cassius as talking to him about how Thanos is currently attacking New York. So I'm wondering if in one of these next episodes.
Wait, they said I missed that.
Oh yeah, it's the most recent episode where Talbot is now on the ship and they're going to try and rescue him.
And again, this goes back to what I was saying. Well, yeah, this goes back to what. No, they actually did it right then. Because it was the Friday. Yeah, they tied in perfectly. This goes back to what I was originally saying. This episode was supposed to air right before Avengers was supposed to originally premiere.
Yep, it would have been right on. It would have been right on point.
Day for day.
This got pushed back, and the Avengers got pushed up.
Yeah, it would have been day for day.
So it would have been right on, and there would have been about Avengers. And they openly say Thanos is currently attacking New York. So I'm not sure what will happen in the next episode. Will we see half the characters? I'm not sure.
They are opening up a door for a lot of possibilities with this.
I'm not sure the timeline will play out the way that they predicted. I think it'd be interesting, but they are setting this up as if the season and the series will end when their last episode airs.
So
They've got, I think 3 left.
So can we get to arguably my favorite show on television involving Marvel, DC, and any
This
show?
might be my favorite show on television.
That's what I said. Period.
Right now.
Legion is the best. Amal Farouk is that dude punking Oliver ass out.
He has got that dude cowering like a dog.
Oliver's like, I'm gonna kill you. Oh really? You really are? Okay, you say so. Drive over there. That
And he just drives over.
And you think that we are gonna get him finding his body, but in all actuality, he digs up Lenny's body.
Yeah.
And Aubrey Plaza, let me say something. Okay, here's the dude that appreciates every part of a lot of things. First of all, Aubrey Plaza is an amazing actor in this. She plays the hell out of the role.
God, does she kill?
But her body is fucking phenomenal. Her and Sid's. Like, I appreciate it. Like, you show it, you're like, okay. But then again, I still watch Naked and Afraid. So, now they put her in Amy's body.
Right, Katie Aselton, who's playing Amy, who's also a magnificent actor.
I know, but it was just like,
they did a weird shape-shifting with that device where they took a piece of skin from Lenny's buried body,
right,
and then attached it to Amy and turned her into Lenny. So that's whose body it was.
Super weird.
And when David realizes that, because everybody else has been asking, when David realizes that, he starts to lose his mind because he can see the memories and he sees that Lenny's got Amy's memories in her head, which is driving him crazy.
I remember he told us, like, I can read your mind.
Right.
Like I can see all this shit. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Ptonomy is going through some things.
Yeah, that weird thing crawled in his head.
And it's fucking with his powers.
And I'm not sure what that is.
I think that's something dealing with whatever Farouk did when he was in Oliver's body going around the compound. I believe that's what it is.
Yeah. I think the John Hamm intercuts are pretty solid. They had that one where it was about perception.
Yes.
With the red and green. This one was about conspiracy.
First of all,
how coincidence can be misconstrued as conspiracy.
Fuck all that. I just want to know how you perceive that because you're colorblind.
I can see colors though. I was trained on where things are in a pattern versus necessarily what color things.
So how did you see when they did red and green? Did you see exactly?
Yeah, I can see green. With street lights, a lot of times green looks like white, but I know where it is on the. I know what red looks like.
Yeah.
And I know that's not what the white light looks like. So I know, you know what I mean? Like I can differentiate between those three.
Okay.
But oftentimes green doesn't look like a green light to me. It looks like it's a white light.
Good. I'm glad I got an understanding of that.
Yeah, it's a shade thing for me. It's not like basic colors. I can always tell, but when you get into shades, that's when I get lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed that, and also like we talked about earlier, Oliver is stuck being Farouk's bitch.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell which parts are real and what's going on there. Like, is Lenny seriously there to help? Is Oliver incapable of getting free? What is the hold of Farouk as the Shadow King, and what will happen once he has his body?
I wonder, is he going to be that powerful?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Is the body the thing that's keeping him from it?
I'm just hoping we finally get our visit from from Patrick Stewart.
I know. And they have ordered an additional hour. So what was originally supposed to be 10 episodes is now going to be 11. Which is great.
Yeah, because this show is so amazing.
It's worth it.
It's so captivating on all. Again, it captivates on all levels. Of course, as a science fiction, as a superhero show, but also as the mystery behind it, the storyline, the elements. It captures you.
Yeah. I mean, even the way they say, even the way they show what happened from the previous week, and they're like, apparently on Legion, where they're just
apparently
we're just like maybe that's what the fuck happened.
We
How
don't
would
know.
you even know? You're not even sure what's real.
You don't even know what's real
and
or
again,
not.
it's one of those great shows like Mr. Robot where you've got an unreliable narrator, where you're following this path of David, but you're not really sure what David knows as being real or not real.
Which
right?
I don't blame. I mean, it's a great way to follow.
Like that.
It's a great way to follow along with. It's a great show to get caught up in, where you just have to, again, you have to watch it.
Yeah.
You can't just, let me pick up my phone, let me do this, let me do that. You have to watch the show, and you have to know what it is. Right. So, man, that's all the stuff we got. Yeah. We've finally
what
caught up.
What going on this week?
As of now, nothing. I'm about to send out this text message, and hopefully I get some dates this weekend. I'm finna start emailing everybody else like, hey, I'm here for bookings. I got to go to the post office and figure out what's happening to my mail because I know I got a lot of bills I haven't gotten, and that ain't my fault. When I put permanent on the move change thing,
send the mail. Just keep sending it.
Jesus Christ. But other than that, man, you guys know how you can find me. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. Find the Trusty Sidekick podcast at Trusty Sidekick Pod at gmail.com. Trusty Sidekick Pod on Instagram, Sidekick Trusty on Twitter. Make sure you go and check out my new YouTube channel. Please subscribe over there. It's youtube.com/JWashington80. I decided to finally utilize this since people had been asking me for the longest. Do you have your own channel, this, that, and the third? So yeah, I'm working on that. I'm going to add some dope little things. We're going to do some different things that I've been wanting to do. Those are going to happen there. I'm going to just try to keep producing stuff and just be everywhere. So follow me. How can people reach you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at mocha_Jesus. You can find me at Facebook at Bobby Hill Comedy. You can find my website at itsbobbyhill.com. You can find all my shows there. I am going to be in the San Diego Comedy Festival going on later this month. I'll be warming up all over the city trying to get ready for that. You can find my show dates at itsbobbyhill.com.
I'm in the NoHo Comedy Festival.
Oh, you're in the NoHo Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
That's coming up pretty soon here, right?
Yeah, that's next week.
This next May weekend, right?
It's next weekend.
Haha Cafe?
It's a bunch. No, it's different places throughout North Hollywood.
Okay.
So the majority of the shows, of course, are at Haha.
Of course.
I'm on an industry show.
To Jack Assadorian?
Yeah, and Lucas Seeley. I'm on one of the TV sets industry shows.
Nice.
I'm on a couple of like industry shows they consider, and with it being Lucas Seeley, I trust it being actual industry there.
Yeah.
So I gotta be on my tip.
That'll be great. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So congrats to both of us for going to some festivals this month. So you can find us there and check out those dates. And that's about it.
All right, man. So with that being said, we wrapped up episode 80 of the Trusty Sidekick podcast here on the Laugh Factory Podcast Network with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J Washington.
And me, your resident superhero, Bobby.
I'm like, nigga, did you get who you were? We're going to try to keep these coming because our schedules have picked up in immense ways. We're going to try to keep dropping these weekly for you guys, even if we got to record early before some shows. But to make sure we have this for you, I got some great guests lined up, ready to come on here. And so once we get that rolling, you guys are going to get more and more, even special.
We'll be back next week, motherfuckers.
Also, go support our Patreon. We want to do more things, but we want to do them for our patrons. So go to thetrustysidekick.com, click on our Patreon page. There are various tiers of
$5, you bastards.
The lowest is a $5. You can get so much. People have seen the people have seen some of the photos I've drawn and want those. And when you get to a certain tier, I will laminate them and everything and send them out to you guys. So we will holler at you all next week. Till then, take care. We're out of here. Peace.
That's what's up.
No, we're not gonna go back to the show. No.
Laugh Factory Network.